Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is the Intuitive Hour, Awaken Your Inner Voice, where we talk all about psychic development, intuitive development, and all things metaphysical. All right, and today's episode, the Akashic Records, how to access them and give yourself a reading. First, I'd like, though, to get to a few announcements. We just became aware that the Intuitive Hour has been featured at So Influential in an article titled The Top 8 Podcasts of 2022 to Improve Your Interpersonal Skills as a Leader. I'm over the moon excited about this, as you would expect. This article includes some of the greats who I respect so much. Tony Robbins. I've been listening to Tony Robbins since I was a teenager myself. His podcast on the intricacies of communication and motivation, as we all know, is just an exceptional leader and influencer. Brendon Burchard. Brene Brown is also presented in this article. Her podcast, Unlocking Us and Dare to Lead, is included. If you're following michellebeltran.com and our newsletters, you've probably heard a little bit of the news about a book I'm co-authoring, Women Gone Wild, all about boldness and empowerment and accessing our feminescence. One of the co-authors in that book, Blair Kaplan Venables, also is featured in the article. I'm so delighted to share that with her as well. Be sure to hop on over to michellebeltran.com where you can join our newsletter or visit our social medias and follow all the excitement about things to do. It does appear we got on somebody's radar here, and I'm just so overwhelmed in just the most wonderful of ways to share this with you today. This podcast has been ongoing for several years now, and this topic of intuitive development and psychic development and amplifying and trusting our inner voice is so very important to me. I'm passionate about it and just over the moon excited to be featured in this article and give this podcast some recognition. Get this information out there. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and begin our podcast today. As I mentioned, we're talking about the Akashic Records. So, what if just knowing who you were in the past, who you are today, and who you are meant to be in the future influences the life you lead right now? The Akashic Records holds information to all your relationships, your belief systems, future realities, past experiences, past lives. Through the Akashic Records, you have access to all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be. What an incredible resource for us. There is a place where every human word and deed throughout all time has been recorded. That's the Akashic Records. Those records, a collection of every human event, thought, word, emotion, and intent that have occurred in the past, present, or future. They're ours for the knowing. They are the Akashic Records. This information of human consciousness is encoded in this non-physical existence, known as an etheric plane of sorts. this library of all existence, holds the record of your soul's journey from the first time you appeared in the source until you eventually return home. No matter whether you are a new soul or an ancient one, the Akashic Records is the holographic repository of all your thoughts, feelings, actions, deeds from each lifetime you have ever lived. So it's here in the Akashic Records where you find guidance and support in releasing old blocks and patterns, or whatever is no longer serving you. You might find your soul's life calling here, your purpose and personal truth, things that are important for you to know now. You might even access things missing, or you feel a pull toward, like trust, forgiveness, processing loss, and just so much more. Through accessing the Akashic Records, you're releasing what is no longer you and uncovering what is ready to birth. All right, so accessing the Akashic Records does come with some what I would call do's and don'ts, things to consider. So first of all, as with any kind of healing or reading, you want to be prepared. Coming with specific questions matters. Remember that all your questions are safe. There are no right or wrong or even silly questions. All your questions matter, and they matter because they are your questions. All right, something else to consider. When you're in an Akashic reading, whether you are giving it to yourself or someone else is offering this reading, be mindful of this. And you might have heard me say this before, some of you working with me. I often say, if your heart could speak, what would it say? What would it ask in this case? Let that be your guide. So the questions that you come with, be mindful that black and white questions are not the best questions to ask. Yes or no questions really are not recommended. The reason is because this question presumes one outcome, and often there are many options, right? So I suggest that you ask more of a general sort of question, like, show me what I need to know to manifest the career that is best for me and fulfills my soul calling in life. You might also ask about belief patterns. Again, not in a yes or no format, but something like, what old belief patterns or stuck energy are creating blocks and ready to be released so that I can manifest my soul life partner? So be general and stay away from the yes or no answer. That just limits your options. All right, next. In an Akashic Record reading, it has to be opened with your permission. Like much of the intuitive work you engage in, we need your pure intention at the helm. And so to take it a step further, a clearly stated intention that you say out loud is essential to receive messages from the Akashic Records. There needs to be a conscious choice to access your Akashic Records by you. And then you forge forward with answers and knowing you intend to receive. As with readings, healings, or any other spiritual work, the exception, of course, being to ground someone, you just may not open Akashic Records of another person without clearly stated permission. All right, next. Do learn to open your own Akashic Records. And we'll do this today. You might decide to give permission to an expert for an Akashic record reading, and that's fine. Do your best, though, to learn how to do it on your own. You, after all, are the captain of your ship, and you have the answers within. That said, should you choose to bring in an expert for your Akashic record reading, do your research. Know that this is a credible person and you trust them. Be mindful who is offering this reading. Naturally, there is a mutual awareness respecting confidentiality in this reading. There's a mutual awareness, understanding that accessing Akashic records are extremely important and handled in the utmost of integrity. Also remember that your questions and your intention lead the reading, not the Akashic record reader that you may have brought in. You hold the intention, your questions are at the lead. A reader will simply suggest and guide. Your Akashic record reader or expert working with you is a transmitter of messages only. All right, and one final note on do's and don'ts. There is an age limit. That said, there is some wiggle room here, right? Officially, 18 as an adult, but use your discretion. We all know some 15-year-olds or even 10-year-olds who are very wise beyond their years, very adult-like. In turn, we all know elderly folks, 50 years old perhaps, who might seem on some occasion a little bit less mature. So age is indeed a number. The point here is to respect the Akashic record opening and accessing and being ready for it. So just be mindful of the age and who you're working with. All right, who can access the Akashic records? Well, everyone can access this information anytime from anywhere. The flashes of intuition and knowing hunches that occur every day are actually glimpses into the wisdom contained in the Akashic records. Every being in the universe contributes to and can access the records. Because we are all created by and connected to its energy, our divine birthright includes having access to the wisdom and knowledge contained in the Akashic records. I've mentioned a little bit about what you can learn through an Akashic record reading. It's possible to learn about your relationships, your health, your soul path, and every other conceivable topic. The answers you receive during an Akashic record reading offers help and hope as well as empowerment by knowing the truth of your situation and the possibilities unfolding in your life. All right. How do you gain access to this information? That's the core of today's episode and what I'm really excited to talk with you about. So first, it's important to feel completely safe in a zone of benign emotions and achieve a meditative sort of space. If you feel rushed or unsure about what the outcome of your reading might be, it will be difficult to retrieve the information. We want you relaxed and open and allowing. So take time to concentrate on what you need to proceed with confidence and ease, and get yourself in a receptive, allowing space. Meditation, of course, will help you come to this space. Please know that you need not be a psychic or even spiritually aware for this process to be successful. Indeed, spiritual awareness is helpful, but certainly not required. I would also say to just settle into and trust. When I say trust, I mean trust yourself to find the right answers. Trust the information that is coming. There's no need to second guess it. Everything that comes to you is real and true, even if in that moment you're not sure the meaning. So trust the entire process. Trust that it's real and true and here for your highest good. Remember that you're not seeking perfection or instant gratification in this reading. You're diving deep into the heart-centered space that is you and listening to that higher guidance, allowing higher guidance to funnel from the Akashic Records to your subconscious self. All right, with that, I would like to leave you with 4 specific steps to help you access your Akashic Records on your own. All right, step number 1, state a prayer. As we know, in any kind of spiritual work, healings, readings, it's important to state a prayer. Say this prayer or mantra out loud. When you say it out loud, we call this objectifying it. Think of it as deeply embedding the prayer in the universal DNA. You are heard. As you say the prayer that you have created, you are protected, safe, and in divine guidance. Now, if you're opening the Akashic Records for another person, then during this prayer, be sure to take some time to release any low vibration energy, ego, the to-dos of the day, or distractions first. I call this a clean out, where you're just releasing everything, all distractions, and making an agreement with your subconscious self that you'll come back to all those to-dos of the day. As a giver of an Akashic record reading, we want your energy pure, clean, and clear for the reading you are about to offer. Step 2, we need your clear intentions and belief. It's ever so important that you believe in the Akashic Records and that your tapping into them is authentic. This is not a test or a game or a playground. It's a powerful, all-knowing, divine resource. It should be honored and respected. If you are not completely in this place, this reading is not for you. If you're not in belief, then there is a strong likelihood your reading will be less than successful. All right, step 3. Use your clairvoyance to receive. If this is new to you, I would invite you to revisit Accessing Your Clairvoyance episode here on the Intuitive Hour. That said, step 3 encompasses opening up your third eye. We want it activated. This technique is a good way to say hello to it and allow it to begin opening. That is to place the pointer finger of your non-dominant hand gently on your third eye, which is just above your brow in the middle of your forehead. And by the way, your non-dominant hand is the hand that you do not use often. Usually it's the hand that you do not write with. So, as your pointer finger is gently resting now on your third eye, rotate it right 3 times. Then rotate it left 3 times. This will awaken your third eye, and you can begin to link with this space. Energy is flowing through here now. You may even, in this moment, as you do this, begin to see mental images or pictures of guidance. If for some reason an image is not coming, I like to suggest imagining a wave, a tidal wave perhaps. Give it a color if you'd like to, a pink tidal wave, and see an image on top of that tidal wave being delivered and brought into you. All right, step 4. Allow the journey to unfold. The Akashic Records are not limited by time. So, the exact knowing of the meaning of images coming through, answers you seek, may come during the Akashic Record reading or after. You very well may receive bits of information in the days to come, the hours to come. This may come in dreams, daydreams, song, any writing you do, through unique or synchronistic occurrences. So your work now is to be aware and listen. In summary, everyone, please know that the Akashic Record reading is a very powerful process of self-discovery. You will come away with a clearer understanding of your best self, goals, intentions, next best steps, and more. You'll develop a deeper sense of self-trust, and with it comes a level of self-empowerment you have not known. As mentioned, old patterns, blocks, and outdated thought processes also release. This all happens because the Akashic Records are not of the material world. They are bigger than us and beyond what our ego-based minds can comprehend. The Akashic Records are not limited by human constraints like time, as I've mentioned. Rather, it's a boundless, eternal, divine repository of transformational information, all here for you. Step into this reading with care, grace, and honor of this vast ocean of divinity, and glean from it.
Kick off the new year with 25% off a 30-minute session with Michelle. Visit michellebeltran.com and click on Sessions. Then use the coupon code INTUITIVEHOUR25 when you check out. This special offer is available for a limited time. Book your session with Michelle today at michellebeltran.com.